Namaskar, hello and welcome to Sunset TV. I am Namrata Singh and you're watching Question Hour. This show focuses on questions raised by the members in both houses of parliament concerning matters of national interest. In the Rajya Sabha today, members from various parties posed questions related to 13 ministries and sought responses from their respective ministers. Similarly, in the Lok Sabha, members from various parties raised questions related to 11 ministries and sought responses from the respective ministers. In today's program, we will be addressing questions related to the Jal Shakti Ministry, Ministry of Minority Affairs, Ministry of Power, and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, among others. But before we take a look at some of the questions asked by the members in both the houses today, let me inform our viewers that the budget session of the Parliament begins today. On the first day of the budget session, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tabled the economic survey in the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha MP Neeraj Shekhar asked the Minister of Jal Shakti the details of fund allocated, released and utilized under Har Ghar Jal Yojana during 2023-24 and 2024-25 year-wise. The number of households targeted to be covered under the scheme during the current financial year state-wise.
सुरक्षित पेयजल प्रदान करने के लिए 20/10/500/2012 और इसके बाद के संशोधनों को पालन करने की सलाह दी गई है। आर्सेनिक और फ्लोराइड से प्रभावित बस्तियों में खाना पकाने और पीने के लिए अल्पकालिक उपाय करने की सलाह राज्यों को दी गई है। दूषित और जल जनित रोगों से छुटकारा पाने के लिए सभी आर्सेनिक और फ्लोराइड प्रभावित बस्तियों को सुरक्षित स्रोत से या तो अल्पकालिक नल या कनेक्शन से पानी दिया जा रहा है। पेयजल गुणवत्ता परीक्षण के लिए 2157 जल गुणवत्ता परीक्षण प्रयोगशाला को मान्यता प्राप्त एक नेटवर्क उपलब्ध है। सभी राज्यों केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों ने नाम मात्र दरों पर जनता द्वारा एकत्र किए गए पेयजल नमूनों के परीक्षण के लिए जल गुणवत्ता परीक्षण सुविधाएं खोल दी है। फील्ड टेस्ट के लिए महिलाओं की अग्रणी भूमिका है। राज्यों ने ग्राम पंचायतों को भी हर स्तर पर उसके एक टी के उपयोग करके जल गुणवत्ता परीक्षण करने के लिए स्थानीय समुदाय के 5 महिलाओं की पहचान की है और उन्हें सुरक्षित किया है। अब तक 5.5 लाख से अधिक गाँव में 25 लाख से अधिक महिलाओं को उसका ट्रेनिंग दिया गया है। जल गुणवत्ता प्रबंधन सुविधा प्रणाली विकसित किया गया है। इस पोर्टल पर व्यक्ति अपना नमूना पंजीकृत कर सकता है और पानी के नमूने की जांच करने के लिए पास की प्रयोगशाला को चयन कर सकता है।
Lok Sabha MP Khagin Murmu asked the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change whether the government is going to set up a plant to produce ethanol from stubble in Delhi NCR and steps taken for the same. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in its reply to the House informed that it has identified crop residue management as one of the priority areas for prevention of air pollution. A framework for effective prevention and control of stubble burning has been developed by the Commission for Air Quality Management in National Capital Region and adjoining areas. The framework for effective prevention and control of stubble burning was issued and based on learnings from the year 2021, 2022 and 2023. The action plans for Punjab, Haryana and UP NCR districts have been further revised and updated for the upcoming paddy harvest season during 2024. The CAQM has issued a statutory for implementation and review of the updated or revised plan of action for prevention and control of stubble burning in 2024. The plan includes complete mapping of the identified means of management of paddy stubble, review of available and allocation of machines in CHCs, FPOs, farm banks, etc., augmentation of the number of CHCs and ensuring availability of appropriate resources with them, ensuring procurement of all identified new CRM machines by individuals or CHCs for the year 2024 well in advance by July-August 2024, optimize and enhance utilization of machinery available with CHCs, FPOs, farm banks, etc., focusing on supply of such machines to poor and marginal farmers. IT web-based monitoring mechanism to be instituted for utilization of machines in CHCs, FPOs, farm banks, etc., in addition to surveillance by village or block level teams or officers. Continuation and enhancement of IEC sensitization activities to create awareness regarding the ill effects of the stubble burning. Timely appointment and deputation of nodal, cluster, village level officers for strict surveillance and enforcement actions. Mechanism for pinpointing and inspection of the farms, areas where paddy straw is burnt, if any, as per standard ISRO protocol, and ensuring red entries, accountability in such farm records, including levying and realization of prescribed EC, and conducting frequent reviews and close monitoring of implementation of the framework state-specific plan of action at various levels in the state government or district administration. Lok Sabha members Kriti Devi Devabarman and Jagdambika Pal asked the Minister of Corporate Affairs steps taken by government for reducing number of pending litigations under the companies law. They asked whether government is taking any steps to improve ease of doing business and boost corporate governance framework in the country.
Ease of doing business, a lot of steps have been taken, nearly 11 steps which have been given in the written reply. 63 offences have been decriminalized, and as a result of which companies today are able to carry on their functions without the worry of compliance. There was a central processing center which has been set up so that specified non-STP e-reforms can also be, e-forms related questions can also be taken up. So the most important part of this is zero fee for incorporation has been brought in for companies with authorized capital of up to 15 lakhs, meaning small companies which have small capitals with which they start their business, there is no fee charged. These are as a matter of ease of doing business, other than simultaneously acting on reducing the pendency in the courts.
Rajya Sabha MP Sangeeta Yadav asked the Minister of Power efforts made by the government to make Atmanirbhar Bharat in energy sector with help of thermal power. She asked whether the government has drawn any roadmap for enhancing the share of relatively clean thermal power in the total energy basket of the country, and details of efforts taken by the government in last decade for improvement in thermal power's contribution in reducing import dependence in energy sector. The ministry in its reply informed the House that the DPIIT has issued Public Procurement Order 2017 and its subsequent amendments to encourage Make in India and promote domestic manufacturing and production of goods and services in India. The ministry further informed the House of the steps taken to promote installation of efficient ultra-supercritical units over subcritical thermal units, as these units are more efficient and their emission per unit of electricity generation is less than subcritical units. The ministry in its reply also informed that the Ministry of Power has issued a policy on biomass utilization for power generation through co-firing in coal-based power plants to use 5 to 10% blend of biomass pellets made primarily of agro-residue along with coal after assessing the technical feasibility. Further revised policy for the use of agro-residue-based biomass mandated usage of minimum 5% biomass co-fired along with coal for thermal power plants with effect from financial year 2024-25 has been issued. To improve the efficiency of coal-fired units in thermal power generation, thrust was given to set up supercritical, ultra-supercritical units in the country. To ensure lifetime support for services and spares, as well as to understand the technical know-how of supercritical units, phased manufacturing plan was adopted to develop requisite indigenous manufacturing facilities, and technology transfer to Indian companies was carried out through subsidiary or JVs of leading international manufacturers. Further, the dependence on imported coal for power generations over the last decade has reduced substantially. During 2014-15, domestic coal-based plants imported around 47.6 metric ton coal, for which has been reduced to 23.9 metric ton during 2023-24. Lok Sabha members Aparajita Sarangi and Dr. Rajiv Bhardwaj asked the Minister of Culture the steps taken to increase the number of libraries in the country and the details of financial assistance provided so far for setting up of libraries in the country.
Library as per 7th schedule of the Constitution, ये स्टेट का सब्जेक्ट है और स्टेट का सब्जेक्ट होने के नाते प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लोगों को इसके साथ में जोड़ना, लोगों की लाइब्रेरी के साथ में जुड़ाव हो, लोगों का अध्ययन करने की अध्ययनशीलता बढ़े, ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, जन जागरण करने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी राज्य सरकारों के साथ में है। भारत सरकार नेशनल मिशन ऑफ लाइब्रेरी के माध्यम से राज्यों को उनके इस एफर्ट्स को सप्लीमेंट करने के लिए धनराशि और संसाधन मुहैया कराती है। माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय सदस्य और सदन को अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि लाइब्रेरीज़ के फिज़िकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बढ़ाने के साथ साथ में राजा राममोहन राय लाइब्रेरी फाउंडेशन के माध्यम से विभिन्न लाइब्रेरीज़ को स्टेट्स में ग्रांट सप्लीमेंट करके राज्यों के द्वारा किए गए निवेश के अनुरूप ग्रांट सप्लीमेंट करके वो अपने यहाँ पर लाइब्रेरी एक्सपीरियंस को एनहेंस कर सकें, रीडिंग मटेरियल को बढ़ा सकें, इसके लिए समुचित प्रावधान किए गए। और इसके साथ साथ में नेशनल वर्चुअल लाइब्रेरी सेटअप करके, जिस वर्चुअल लाइब्रेरी में हमने लाखों की संख्या में पुस्तकों को उपलब्ध कराया ताकि लोग आज के इस तकनीकी के युग में अधिकतम लोग उसका लाभ उठा सकें।
राज्यसभा मेंबर्स संत बलबीर सिंह, डॉक्टर मेधा विश्राम कुलकर्णी, Dr. Sumer Singh Solanki, Brijlal asked the Ministry of Minority Affairs whether any scheme has been introduced to increase job opportunity for minority communities and number of students from minority communities who have received scholarships from government in the last 5 years. The ministry in its reply informed the House that the ministry implemented various schemes for socio-economic empowerment of 6 centrally notified minority communities. Launched in 2013-14, the PM Vikas scheme converges 5 erstwhile livelihood schemes of the ministry, including Seekho Aur Kamao and Nai Manzil, launched in 2015. Seekho Aur Kamao scheme targeted to upgrade the skills of minority youth in various modern, traditional skills. Nai Manzil scheme was implemented with an objective to benefit the minority youth, school dropouts from BPL families and provide education and skill development support. The eligible beneficiaries would continue to be benefited under PM Vikas scheme. Both schemes were implemented by project implementing agencies empanelled by the ministry on a project level basis and not on state level basis. Naya Savera scheme of the ministry was implemented from 2007 to 2008 to till 2021-22 to assist students, candidates of minority communities by way of special coaching for qualifying examinations for admissions in technical as well as professional courses and competitive examinations for recruitment to Group A, B and C services and other equivalent posts under the central and state governments, including public sector undertakings, banks and railways. The scheme was implemented across the country through empanelled PIAs. Further, the Nai Udan scheme of the ministry provides financial support to the minority candidates who qualify in the preliminary examinations conducted by UPSC, Staff Selection Commission, State Public Service Commissions. The ministry in its reply further informed the House that between 2017 and 2022, over 2 crore 75 lakhs candidates received pre-matric scholarship scheme, with over 35 lakh candidates who have benefited from the post-matric scholarship scheme. Moreover, 6 lakh candidates received merit-cum-means-based scholarship scheme. Well, that is all I have for you in this edition of Question Hour. Thanks for watching.